Okay, this tutorial is the final WeVideo tutorial for editing purposes, and it's all about audio. So there's a lot of different options you can do with audio when you're editing. You're going to be needing to add a soundtrack to your movie trailer. You're going to need to add some sound effects. You might want to record a voiceover. So this tutorial tells you how to do all of that. So first things first, in order to see the audio track, if you click on this little arrow on your video track, sometimes you might notice that your tracks are flattened and they look like this, but you can also expand that track like that to make it bigger or even further, and it's going to show you those little waveforms. That's your audio right there. So when I click play, I can see my audio playing at the same time. Okay, so I know I have audio. Now say like you don't want the audio to play on this clip in particular. I can double click and I can come up to my special effects, that little speaker button, and I can click mute. That's one way to mute your track, and then click save. The other way to mute every track, every clip on one track, is come up to the three buttons on video track 1 and just say mute track. Now everything on that track will be muted. That way, if you don't want to hear any sound bites or sound clips and you want to just record a voiceover, then all the audio will be muted for that track. Another thing you can do is once you've muted, is you can add your soundtrack. So if we come up to this tab right here, it's called audio. There's a bunch of different free audio that you can choose from. Obviously, you want to pick a track that kind of goes along with the vibe of your genre. So maybe something more sinister or creepy if it's like a horror film. And then there's also sound effects. Okay, so there's lots of different kind of sound effects here. You just open up whatever folder you're looking for. So say like you want an animal sound, just double click on animals and you can get some pigs you would like. If you don't find what you're looking for in terms of sound effects or music in this program, I will show you 2 other websites that you can go to that you can get sound effects for and import them into your project. So right now, let's say I want, say this, I don't know, this, not romantic, this mysterious hip hop song. I'm going to drag this down, this clip. I'm going to drag it down to the bottom till you see a green line. That means you're creating another audio track. Okay, so don't drop it onto this video track because you'll delete everything you just did in your edit. Drag it down to the very bottom. Okay, so now you've got your music track that's going to play underneath your clips. And you're going to notice there's a line right here, on a blue line. This is the audio level. So if it's too loud, you can slide this down and then it won't be as loud for you. Again, yeah. And then say like you want to actually fade it out at a certain point, you can add what's called keyframes. I can click down on that line and it's going to add another keyframe. And if I want to fade this music out, say, and start another song, I can click 2 keyframes. So I have the volume that I want it to be set at, and then this keyframe is, I'm going to drag it all the way to the bottom, and that will make it so that the track now is muted. So you've faded out that song. And then you can actually create a fade as long as you want. Maybe you want it to fade a little bit slowly. You can move those keyframes around and get it to be exactly how you want it to be, just by sliding around these different keyframes. So maybe you fade in, and then you fade out, okay? Again, you can also cut the music and delete the section that you don't want, and then you could add another soundtrack if you'd like, and keep doing that. Make sure though, at the very end of your trailer, you always fade out. It should be, your music shouldn't just stop abruptly. You always wanna add those keyframes and fade out. And so that's how you would add music. That's how you'd add keyframes. Now, say like for your film, you have these titles, this title sequence, but instead of a title, you want to actually record a voiceover. You have it in a world where demons reside. Maybe you want to actually say that instead of having these titles. You can come up to your audio up here. Actually, you click on your media, and there's a tab that says narrate. Okay, so I'm going to drag my playhead back to the beginning. And instead of having these titles, I'm going to actually narrate my movie trailer. So all you do is it might prompt you if it can use your microphone on your computer. Just say yes, allow it to use your microphone. So then you just hit record. In a world where demons reside. Wah. Right? So just record your voiceover. You can play it back and record it as many times. In a world where demons reside. Wah. Sounds good. I got it on my first one, so I just hit save. So what that does is it's going to save your voiceover, and it's going to drop it onto a third track at the bottom called voiceover narration. And you can see the waveforms. That's me talking through my narration right there. And then you can go ahead and listen to this. I'm actually going to shorten this clip right now so you guys can hear it. That's your audio. That's your music track, I mean. Okay, so let's listen to the beginning. In a world where demons reside. Wow. Sounds great, right? And it goes into your music. And then the last thing I might want to do is add some sound effects. And so, like I said, you can find the sound effects in the audio tab. Otherwise, there's a website called Zapsplat, and I'm going to show you that in the next tutorial. And you can do, you can actually import your own songs or your own sound effects. So I've actually already visited another website and found a sound effect I want to use. So what I can do is click on import, this import button, meaning I'm going to bring in media that I already have on my computer. So I click on import, browse to select. I've saved that sound effect in my downloads folder because I downloaded it onto my computer from this website called Zapsplat. I just hit open and import. I'm gonna save it right there. So there it is, Zapsplat right there. If I play it, like a creepy demon sound. So maybe I want to use that. And I want to layer that onto my timeline. All I do is then drag it down. And maybe I'm going to play it right when the demon shows up. Okay, so, and it looks like I need another audio track. So I click that plus button, click on audio, add a track. And now I've got a couple layers of audio. So I've got this first audio track is my soundtrack. The second audio track is my voiceover. And the third is my sound effects. So I'm going to move that little demon sound right here. So then you've got this effect. In a world where demons reside. Okay, so those are 3 different options you can choose from. You can add a soundtrack, you can adjust the layers and the volume levels on your clips. Be sure to fade out your music at the end of your film. And then you can also import your own sound tracks or sound effects if you're not pulling them from the audio tab in WeVideo. Okay, good luck, have fun. See you in the next tutorial, which will be how to save your video and export.